Hello everyone. In this video, you're going to learn box model, which is really important concept in CSS designing. Okay, so it will really help you to change the look of your website. So it's a kind of fundamental concept that you're going to learn to customize uh, the elements. Okay, in your web pages. So what you're looking at is the simple box model that is followed by all the elements in the HTML. So you can see the center page is called content. Okay, content is the actual size. You can look at this image. The CSS box model, the actual heading, what is the space taken by the actual content is called content. Okay, and then between the content and border, after that padding will be there and then border will be there. If you look at that image, the red color line what you see in all the elements, or is called border. Okay, so if you look at this heading, the content is the center text and the border is red color border. The space between the content and border, the space, empty space between the content and border is called padding. Okay, that is called padding. And the space between the one element to next element is called margin. Okay, so you can see this is the first element, the next element is this one. The space between this element and this element is called margin. So this is the basic box model. So you can see all the elements in your web pages will follow the box model. Okay, so including beyond every single element, you can look at the span element. It is a span element, including the span element from very small element to big elements. All the elements has to follow this box model. You can see even this one is having a box, and including the whole web page is a box. Okay, all the elements will be considered as box. So I'll explain it once again in an image. So you can see there is a heading. Okay, so it's a H1 heading. Okay, it says welcome. Okay, so this heading is a H1 heading. So this heading is called the space is called content. Okay, and then you are just drawing. Normally border will not have any visible line, but if you want, you can make visible line. You're going to learn how to do that, but that space is called border. That line is called border, and the space between the content and border is called padding. Okay, and then if you have a paragraph here, hello, how are you, like that, you have a paragraph here. Okay, that is a paragraph element. Okay, that will also have a content and then padding and border. So this is the border of a paragraph. Okay, and then the space between this border and the previous border, the H1 border and the paragraph border, there will be a space between these two borders. So that is called margin. Okay, so these four elements will be there in all elements of web pages. Okay, so each element will have its content, padding and border, but the space between two elements is called margin. Okay, so let's look at the ways how to customize these values. Okay, so I have already explained what is content, what is padding. The padding is the area between the content and border. Border is the area that between the padding and margin. Okay, and then by default the border value is 0, but you're going to learn how to customize it. And then margin determines the empty space between one element to the next element. Okay, so let's see how to customize these things one by one. Okay, so first thing is margin. So let's see how to customize the margin property. So to customize the margin, you have to use the property name margin. So note down in your cheat sheet, so margin is the property name that you'll be using to customize the margin. Okay, so if you say that a margin can have different number of values. So if you say margin with one value, that one value will be applied in all four sides. For example, let me clear this out. So let's say you have a H1 selector and you're saying that H1 selector should have a margin of 10 pixels. You're just specifying only one value. So what will happen, this margin, that means the space between one element to another element. So that will have 10 pixel of margin in all four sides, exactly 10 pixels. So when you specify one value, that one value will be applied on all four sides. Okay, so when you say two values, when you say the margin with two values, one value is 5 pixel and another value is 2 pixels, then how the browser will take it. So when this happens, it will just take this 5 pixel. The first pixel will be taken for top and bottom, and the second 10 pixel will be taken for left and right. Okay, so this one will be top and bottom, and this one will be for left and right. Okay, so what will happen when you give three values? Let's say you're giving three values to H1 like this: 5 pixels, 10 pixels, and 3 pixels. How browser will take the three values? When you give three values, always so when you specify three values, the first value will be taken for top, and the second value will be taken for left and right, and the third value will be taken for bottom. So what will happen? The 5 will be applied on this, and 10 will be applied on left and right, and 3 will be applied on bottom. Okay, so when you specify four values, okay, so when you specify four value, it is like 5 pixels, 10 pixels, 3 pixels, and 2 pixels. When the browser sees four values, then it will take it in this order. First value 5 pixel will be taken for top, and the 10 pixel will be taken for right, and 3 pixel, the third value, will be taken for bottom, and then 2 pixel will be taken for left. So top, right, bottom, and left, clockwise direction. Okay, this is how. Also, you can specifically say that if you don't want to specify it like this, if you want to be specifically saying that margin top is going to have 10 pixel or margin bottom is going to have 5 pixel, like that also you can just specify. Okay, so these are the different ways that you can customize. Okay, the margin will customize the space between one element to next element. So next property that you are going to refer, let's explore it in W3 School website, margin property. So you can see you are specifying here the value specified as 35 pixels. So if you change the value to 60 pixels, you can see how it creates a space between one element to next element. Only on this is a class. Okay, so this is kind of separated from the other paragraphs because it is a class element with paragraph. Okay, so you can see how you change this and the value is getting changed. When you say it is 6 pixels, then it will change the margin. So the space between one element and next element is customized as the margin. Okay, so the next element that we are going to see is padding. Okay, so padding is the space between content and the border, right? So by default, the padding value is 0. Okay, so let's see how to customize these values. So first let's explore it in W3 School website. Okay, then you will understand. So this is the paragraph, and then just for your visibility, we have added a border because the padding is the space between the content and the border. Okay, so to give you some visual understanding, you need to have this border, then only you can understand the padding. You can see the padding value is 35 pixel here. So if the padding values change to 5 pixels, you can see how this one is getting changed. Okay, so the same rule that is applied on the margin can be applied to here itself. If you give two values, the 5 pixels and 10 pixels, the first value will be taken for top and bottom, and the second value will be taken for left and right. You can see this is 10 pixels. Okay, and this one is 5 pixels. This is the remaining value. This will not so it is a black level element, so it will take the whole space. Okay, so if we give three values, then the first value will be taken for top, and the second value will be taken for left and right, and the third value will be taken for bottom. So you see, this is the top is 5 pixel and left and right is 10 pixel. You can see that in left, but in right it will take the whole space because it is black level element. And in the bottom you will see 20 pixel values. Okay, and if you add one more value to this 30 pixel, then you will see the first one is for top and the second one is for right and third one is for bottom and the fourth one is for left. So you can see now it is 30 pixel value in the left. Okay, so the same thing would be applied on the margin is applicable to here as well. So you can just change the value to padding. All the rules with the number of values will be applicable to margin padding as well. So you can simply say can just simply replace h1 with padding. Okay, that will be applicable for padding. And then also you can customize it for each side, like padding top. You can simply say padding top and padding bottom, then it will change the values. Okay, so that is with the padding. And this third one is border. Okay, so border is this. You can see, let me explain it in W3 School website. Do you see? So the border, you can specify the width of the border. So here the width is 5 pixel value and solid and red color. So what is this solid? Let's look at the style. So border style. So border style can have different values. So if you explore in W3 School website, you can see different types of borders designs you can provide. This is for dotted and this is for dashed, bottom, solid, double line, and then groove, insert, outside. So different types of border can be provided. So for that you have to use border style as a property name. But if you are not using the property name, and if you simply say inside the border property, you can simply say solid, then that will be taken as border property. If you want to specify it separately, then you can separately specify it as border hyphen style, and then you can say dotted. Okay, and you can just take this, then still you will get everything. So do you see that is getting displayed as a dotted design. Okay, so the first one is for width. Okay, so let me change it to solid, and then I'm just going to change the width as 550 pixels. Do you see what is happening, right? So, and then you can even change hexadecimal value, or you can just give the color name. Okay, so this is how you can customize. So I'm just changing it to 5 pixel back. So you can see how you can customize your border. Okay, so there are different styles that you can just make use of it. Okay, so just refer the W3 School website to look at different values of border. So that is about border. And then here I have given the explanation of how you can use different styles for the border. Okay, so we have looked at the box models, how to customize, but you cannot customize content, but how to customize the other element like padding, border and margin. Okay, so see you in the next video on how to customize the other CSS.